Okay, Muna, you ready? 3, 1. Happy birthday, Splatoon! And it's a very special present to celebrate the 6th anniversary of our favorite game of all time. We're making a custom amiibo of the cat that started it all. Judd. So, we hope you will enjoy it. First, we made this early version of the amiibo. This was our first try at making Judd and Little Judd, but it was very hard to get a good feeling for the silhouettes that make up the two cats on the first try. We did want to leave it in here to show that it's alright to mess up. Take these mistakes and look for what went wrong and where you can do better next time. We also did this for our amiibo. So, we started again. First with the body for Judd. So, we started again with this shape in aluminium foil. This time we made the sides of the head a bit bigger, which made the silhouette match much more with the reference. Then we needed to cover the foil with another layer, making it thick enough to let us add the fur texture later. Then we used some water to smooth out the clay and the transition between the head and the body. This way we get a nice base to add the limbs, details and textures to. Next to make is the nose of the big cat. For this we started with a ball and... Wait, no, it's too big. For this we started with a ball and made a cut in the middle. Then we flattened this ball and smoothed out the cut to make the lips of Judd. But before attaching the lips we need to make a little hole in his head and give this a point to make his little snoring mouth. To this pointed part we attach the lips and smooth out the transition. And to go along with the snoring mouth, we can use the silicone tools to make his half-awake eyes. And to finish the face, we can use the same technique for the lips to make the nose and attach this to the top of the snout. Then we get the long process of adding the fur texture. For this we used an old X-Acto knife and made small, shallow cuts and stipples to make the fur on the body. And after the fur is applied, we have just enough time with the clay left to add the ears on the top of his head. We also use the tools again to add the inside to the ears and finish these off by adding the fur texture to these. And with just a sliver of time left, we can just barely make the tail and add this to the body. Well, time for the vert. It was still a bit too big, so before the clay had fully hardened, we removed the snout and we're going to make a new one. Then we can finally start on the arms. These we made from 2 balls of clay. One we shaped into a teardrop shape and the other one we added 2 equally divided cuts into and flattened to make the paw. Then we add those to each other and smooth out the transition to add to the body. And here we can do the final detailing and shaping on the arm. Especially the smoothing out the transition on the shoulder. And the same process is then repeated for the other arm. Actually, a process very similar to the arms is used for the legs. We have one ball that we're going to make more into a truncated cone for the leg, and the other ball is getting 2 cuts and is flattened to make the paw. These are then again smoothed out together and to the body. But the big difference is that these need some cute little pads on the bottom. These we make from some small little balls of clay that we push into some holes we pressed into the toes and middle of the paws. Then we do the same for the other paw. But off camera we've also made the body for Little Judd, with his arm holding Judd's flag. We did this by getting a snake of clay, which we pinched 2/3 of the way, which created a blob and the arm. This blob is then again cut into to make the paw. And using a smaller piece of paperclip we make Little Judd's own flag. And this one is then attached like the other one to his body. Better add some support for the little flag and some super glue for the big flag. Just you wait until we have to try and add the fur texture to these. Once those have all dried in place, and we can't accidentally damage them, we can continue on with Little Judd's ears. Starting with a little triangle. Then, using some tools, we press in the middle and create the insides. and afterwards smoothing out the rest to make a nice transition. Then we start on the snout. And some little balls for the eyes. At last we can make the legs with some snakes of clay rolled into a point and added to the body. And the blobs are then attached to those and shaped into the paws. And to finish these off, we cut the tiniest pieces of clay, rolled these into balls, and added these as pads to the feet. Better finish these quickly before I damage the right paw for the 5th time. And finally, we add the fur. As for the last part, we only need a pillow. Again, we use some foil as a base and cover this with a layer of clay. Smoothed it out, and while the clay was still wet, we used an old towel to get the fabric texture onto the pillow. Then we used an X-Acto and one of the silicone tools to get the seam into the pillow. And we placed it onto the custom Amiibo base with Judd on top. But the base still needs to be attached properly with some superglue. At last we can start on the painting phase, with first a base coat of white. Next we use some more white for the underside of the pillow for a better coat. Continuing with the pillow, we mix a natural green and normal green to make the color for the pillow and add 2 layers of this. Then we use the mummy's ropes for the fur of the 2 cats. Making sure to get the paint into all the little fur cuts.
Are you with me?
Next we use a little bit of red pink for the mouth.
Ooh-la-lee.
But with a little touch up we can start on the fur patterns. Starting with a dark grey for Judd. Along his face. On the snout. On his paws. And his pants. And the suspenders. Do take this phase slowly because Little Judd can be quite in the way at some points.
Away. Meow.
Don't forget this little bow tie. And the suspenders on the back. but with a light grey instead. From the head, suspenders, tail,
Amiibo.
and don't forget the back again. Then we use a skin tone mixed with a pink to make the color for the inside of the ears, nose and pads. Although later on we did go over them again with a mixture of white, pink and a drop of skin tone to get them much pinker. Next we use some yellow for the eyes of Judd. And black for the sticks and those beads of Little Judd. Finally, we superglue some fabric onto the sticks. Trim these to size. Then paint these with a pink and natural green as a base. Next, a darker pink and green for the ink patterns. And we finish with a white for the squids on the flags.
Bye.
All that's left afterwards is to add some gloss to the eyes, nose and mouth. And with that we can finally announce the Judd and Little Judd custom amiibo finished.
Whee!
Hey Creagears, Roboy here, and we hope you enjoyed our Splatoon anniversary special with the Judd and Little Judd custom amiibo. We're looking forward to even more years of playing this fantastic game, which will even get its third installment next year. I think everyone is. But we hope you have an amazing rest of the weekend, and maybe you can even spot Muna or me this weekend celebrating the anniversary in Splatoon 2. But that's going to be all from us now. Keep this creative gears turning, and we will see you in the next video.